Happening right now in CBS Sports HQ, Ezekiel Elliott and Jerry Jones talking about the all-pro running back in Dallas. Let's take a live listen right now.
As you can get as to what Zeke means and how we're built to compete for the main goal that we've got. But this is an important contract for us. I mentioned yesterday on Wall Street that this contract really had a lot of dynamics about it, and rightfully so. And for it not to have had kind of some of the attention, if you will, or some of the discussion of the dynamics would have been sliding it, because when you think of him as a running back, but you think of him as a running back, we can take this thing to the house with him as the running back. We've always known that. I know there's no doubt in the world of sport, especially anybody that keeps up with NFL football, that I'll go to the mat with Zeke. He's that important to us. So I never really worried about that. We're thrilled to have this young man sitting next to us. We're thrilled to have his beautiful mother, like his sister and his significant other with us there too. But it goes without saying that he's a cornerstone player for the Dallas Cowboys. We all are proud to have him. When asked about him, a lot of third-party people asking me about him, my vision of Zeke is that inspiration that he is before a ball game, and when he's in there and everybody's got their game face on, and boy, there's Zeke. He's going around and he's lightening the load a little bit with his personality and lightening the load, and walking or bouncing around there in that dressing room. And everybody associated with the Dallas Cowboys knows he's fixing to carry the load out there in a matter of minutes. So it's a great feeling. He's not only a great player, but he's a great inspiration. We wanted to be sure that we did avail you of a chance. Not only I know you spoke to Zeke yesterday, but I wanted to be sure that Stephen was here so that he could talk about Rocky. His agent is here as well, and answer any questions that we might answer in this forum. Question.
Jerry, did you feel this was essential to be done before the season, not just from the fact of having everyone in place, but what Elliott brings beyond just the physical ability, the spirit and the drive that you're talking about?
Well, at our luncheon the other day, I was a little reflective in my comments, and I don't know if you noticed, but I slipped. I said, I promise you he'll be here. And so I did think that it was very important that we have Zeke on the field opening up against the Giants. Questions there for Stephen? Or
Stephen, you've done a number of these before. Did this one go any differently, or was this any more challenging than previous extensions that you've done before?
Not really. I think it was, right in line and, with what you expect, when you're negotiating the contract of a great player. And, there's a lot of respect there for, as Jerry says, for Zeke and what he brings to the table for us. I think we were, never helped ourselves out much talking about Zeke because, we were always talking about how important he is to this football team. And, it's, as I've said about all three of these guys, they got great representation. Rocky's in the room right here. You're not going to get anything past anybody. So you just get in there and you roll up your sleeves and you go to work. And, as it turns out, as I said, these things can happen. Zeke's sitting up here smiling, and we're able to, we were able to do a contract that we can put, which I know Zeke wants, teammates around him that can help us ultimately win a championship. That's what we want. Zeke's won a national championship. He knows what it's like to be the best and on the best team. And, with the way we structured this, we were able to get Zeke happy, and we were able to help us. And that way we can have players like Lyle Collins, for the next 5 or 6 years blocking for Zeke. That's, that's important. And as we said, this is not about anybody saving any money here. We're just trying to figure out the best way to distribute it in terms of our salary cap.
April, May, June, whatever. Was that purposeful? I mean, why was there no conversation? And obviously, Stephen talked to, but why did you guys not talk at all?
Well, under these circumstances, usually I would speak to anybody. I'd want to be sure that they knew where my heart was or knew where our mindset was about did we love him, did we want him. It turns out for the short time that Zeke has been with the Cowboys, it seems like forever. I've never thought there was any doubt as between the two of us where our heart is and whether or not we can count on each other. And so I really didn't had I thought for a second that it was necessary to reassure him that I'm in his corner. I would have easily reached out, but that wasn't necessary, and it certainly wasn't necessary on his part for him to reach over and pat me on the knee either.
Jerry, how much was your expectation? You have high expectations for this team. How much did that play a role in getting Zeke done before week 1 so that the coaches and players would have a full complement of talent?
Well, without being trite, we all realized that this was a very substantive commitment. And it is. And I knew that it was a lifetime thing for Zeke. I actually hope that as you go along and when you get my age, you've had several paydays. Maybe not necessarily on the football field, but in other ways as well. But this was a lifetime deal for Zeke and a significant thing for us. And so, you know, I just it just had that kind of importance, and it was important for the issue for us to have him opening day, and we did put a big old circle around that, and make no question about it, it was there. But I guess I had to go up. You know, ironically, believe it or not, I was in New York and on the phone with Stephen when Emmitt Smith, when we finished our negotiations with Emmitt, and Emmitt was in Atlanta. And you didn't have cell phones back when Emmitt did his. Didn't have a cell phone. And so Emmitt got on the phone in Atlanta, and basically we weren't going to get together. I was on the phone with him. And I said, boy, come on, we've got your bed made and got your locker fixed up. And Emmitt said, I'm going to come to my locker, Mr. Jones. I'm going to clean it out, pick my ring up. I was in the Waldorf Astoria. I'll never forget it. It was about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. No cell phones, no way to get you. I got Stephen back on the phone. I said, button down the hatches, Stephen. It's fixing to get rough around Dallas. This is the Emmitt, with Emmitt. I put that phone down, and I left that room, and I proceeded to drown my feelings in New York for several hours. And I looked at the proverbial guy with his head down at the bar, just sitting there going about it and what have you. And about 2 in the morning, I came back to the room. Every light in the room was flashing. Everything was flashing, going off. I called Stephen immediately. Where have you been? We've been looking all over every place for you. Said, Emmitt called back about 20 minutes after y'all hung up and said, pick him up in Atlanta. He's coming in the side.
Then Jerry said, now I think I'll go out and celebrate.
Again.
So was there any point in Mexico when you were down there that you ever worried that, oh man, this might, do you have any doubt? I know you said yesterday you were mentally tough and you were having to deal with it, but was there any doubt in your mind at any point that it might not get done?
No, you know, I believed in my guys. I believed in the Joneses. I believe that they wanted me here, and I believe that we can, you know, meet on the common ground.
Jerry, you just told us that story about Emmitt by you picking up the landline, and that allowed the deal to expedite with Emmitt Smith. Do you think, in hindsight, if you had picked up the phone, it could have expedited things with Zeke?
Well, I knew that Stephen, I knew the lines of communications were there and in obviously great shape. I have all the confidence in the world that Stephen represents in everything we're about, and he can change what we're about without talking to me. And so I felt very comfortable that we were operating. What is the case is that this is the way contracts go. It's the way baseball goes. My point is that this is it. This is what happens. And then when it go right, it goes boom, boom, boom. But it couldn't get there if you hadn't gone through all that other action and all those other weeks and all those other months. It couldn't have gotten to that point. It's a misnomer to go back and second guess any aspect of that. It got done. You had two people that wanted to be together worse than their next breath. We all knew what was at stake. And we all knew it wasn't just opening day at stake. We were sending lots of messages. We wanted to send lots of messages as to for our team. He spoke eloquently yesterday about his feeling about his team and being isolated and felt bad for the team and everything else. But all of that is there in this. And I don't mind telling you at about 2:30 in the morning, sitting there in New York, Steve and I were just sitting there, and there's still a little work to do. And I think it finally got done about 4:30, wasn't it, when y'all said that's when it's ready to go there. But I'm going to do this, if I can. I'll stop the questions for a second. I do want the man of the hour, though, to speak directly about his thoughts, and then whatever you guys want to ask him and talk about, he'll dictate that. But Zeke, why don't you?
Well, I just first want to thank the Joneses for, giving me the opportunity. First of all, drafting me, bringing me here, and then, signing me so that I can remain here for the rest of my career. And I'm just really excited about this team. I'm really excited about, what we're going to do. And, just thank you guys. Also, in my time here in Dallas, I've formed a really good relationship with the Salvation Army, and I wanted to pledge $100,000 to help them build their new facility to help support the people in need in Dallas.
Thank you, Zeke.
Back to meetings here, but Jerry had one more piece of business to do.
Yes, I do. If you'll sure make this just right. Okay.
This is the side you want to.
Come on, Rich. As is customary, we take shots with the jersey, or take shots. I want to present Zeke his new jersey that I want him to wear. If you'll stand up, Zeke. Zeke who? Here he is. Zeke who? And then if you will help me turn around, that's it.
Reverse it back again.
Reverse it.
All right, you were listening live to a press conference with Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, and Ezekiel Elliott. It's all smiles when you got your all-pro running back just in time for the opening week of the season. Again, a 6-year extension, $90 million. The joke there, Zeke who? Turn it over, that's who. And in a press conference that lasted, about 12 to 13 minutes, Ezekiel Elliott, 2 comments. Nobody had follow-ups, I guess. Everybody wanted to hear from Jerry Jones, which we already talked about. Zeke Elliott, 6 years, $90 million, the most by a running back in NFL history. More CBS Sports HQ coming up just a bit.